Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
It is to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okorakwan.
Austin, you're smiling. I'm smiling too, but there's nothing we can do. We just have to be happy because Super Eagles may not make us happy, but somehow there's always something to cheer about. But this is how the lineup is looking like this evening. We'll be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Of course, that's to get our attention because of what happened earlier a few hours ago in Abuja.
Cecilia, I'm struggling to hear you. I'm not getting any feedback.
Okay.
Hopefully that will be resolved and then I can join the conversation.
Okay, let me just run through what we have for you today. We'll talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, we'll touch down on Nigeria Professional Football League. Is back after the break that went on this weekend. Also, we'll touch down Cristiano Ronaldo, 120 goals international. I mean, he's been the highest goal scorer when it comes to international football. And of course, also making it 179th appearance. Of course, that's another record for Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll also talk about the Nigeria National League and also talk about what happened earlier today. Also talking about Thomas Tuchel. He's back in the saddle. He's back in Germany. He was fired in September by Chelsea. But right now, in March, he will be coaching the biggest club in German Bundesliga. Talking about Bayern Munich because, well, Nagelsmann has been fired. Why was he fired? Details of these are definitely on Sport Tonight. But not just me and Austin, I'll be talking alone on the program. We have Ikenna Okechukwu. He's right here in Lagos studio. And of course, Tofe Tobowale will also be joining us from Abuja to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But first of all, we have to start off with what happened just like 4 hours ago. Yeah. Before we talk about the Super Eagles, of course, let's start with Germany. Of course, what happened between Bayern Munich and, of course, Nagelsmann. We expected him to still be in the saddle, but this evening he was fired. Obviously, the club were not happy with what they've seen.
Yeah, good evening, and thanks for inviting me. I think it was like a Hollywood script or Hollywood drama yesterday, because we are following it. They said he has been sacked. They say he hasn't been sacked. That Thomas Tuchel has had a contract. But all of a sudden, said he doesn't have a contract. He's about to sign today. Then I was following the news throughout today. Nagelsmann was actually having a family time in one of the Alps, so he had to come back to Munich to discuss with the management. So they had to tell him face to face about the situation. It's quite shocking. It's quite surprising. But from what feelers we had, they had a feeling that Thomas Tuchel might be going back to the Premier League, one of the big sides. So they wanted to stop him before he makes that move. So it's one of those things. He's great. You can't write any better. But it will be nice to see him, the intensity he brings to the game, and see him back. This is what we are looking out for.
Yeah, that's what we're also definitely looking out for. Just on Friday this evening, it was confirmed by the club that Thomas Tuchel will take over the job of Julian Nagelsmann. Now, for Nagelsmann, I mean, he's 35 years old, very young. The Bayern Munich are in the quarterfinals. You're expected to face Man City next month in the UEFA Champions League. And Bayern Munich are just second on the table, a point behind Borussia Dortmund.
And that's Classica this weekend.
Of course.
I mean,
April 1st, that will be his first job, talking about Thomas Tuchel. The club he led between 2015 and 2017, and that's the club he will be playing against as Bayern Munich coach on April 1st. And if you look at the record of Bayern, they've not been so bad this season. I mean, the club are kind of afraid that maybe they won't win the German Bundesliga because they've not really stayed on top. Usually in Germany, you see Bayern having 8 points, difference and all that. But because they've been up and down.
Even if they lose, because I think why they got Nagelsmann was about the future. He's a young coach. He's not even up to his 40s already.
Yeah, he's 35.
Thank you. So they brought him in for the future. So they didn't even allow him to do the job. Was trying to groom new players. For example, the guy, Musiala, was one of those people he was trying to bring up and grow into the game. So they didn't allow him to do that job. Losing the Bundesliga is not the end of the world. They didn't even get to quarterfinal. They didn't get to quarterfinal in Champions League last season. I think they left in the round of 16, if if I remember vividly. So losing this season, they have won it like 8 or 9 times, or you know.
But I think in Germany, the holy grail for them. I mean, you may not win the Champions League, but Bayern, I mean, they pride themselves that they will always win the German Bundesliga. Maybe they're afraid because how many games do you have to give? About 9 games.
They're just 1 point behind Dortmund.
Just 1 point.
They might win the game next weekend. and the way they actually devastated, destroyed PSG. That should be a feather in his cap. So I don't think he deserves that. But I think they're looking at maybe the team is beyond it. There are bigger things to do. They now decided to let him go.
All right. Austin, we're going back to London right now.
Greetings. Sporting greetings to you and everyone joining us on the show. I thought for a minute I'm not going to be out of the show tonight, because of what happened with the Super Eagles. But it's good to be back. Yeah. I heard what you guys were saying about Bayern Munich.
Yes, Nagelsmann leaving, like Thomas Tuchel coming in.
I like Tuchel. I think Tuchel is very pragmatic. I think Tuchel has also got some bit of luck going his way wherever he manages, and he's a result-oriented person. But I've always said that clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, maybe now in England you can put Man City. Look, you just need to be an established coach and you'll fly with this team. So, Cecilia, I think we've got enough problems back home in Nigeria.
Yes, let's leave that. I was going to say that.
Problems. Yeah. What a story. We talked about it last night, and we were super excited that the Super Eagles are back again, contesting for qualification for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. But Cecilia, remember, before I went on the first break last night, I asked a very important question. Will the Abuja National Stadium be good to the Super Eagles? What a story. First, it was Central Africa Republic. That's what happened in Lagos. We're still trying to understand how will CAR come to Nigeria and stun the Super Eagles. And today, for the first time in their history, Guinea-Bissau, a team that the Super Eagles defeated 2-0 just last year in Cameroon at the AFCON, came today to Abuja to stun the Super Eagles by a single goal. Shocking. A lot of football fans are asking questions. People are devastated. But it is what it is. Ikenna, I've been struggling to explain what has happened to our football. Can you help me understand?
We don't plan. That's the bottom line. We don't plan, and we tend to make a mess of a lot of things. I just wanted to relax on results. For this generation of players, they have had one loss too many, terrible results. 4-4 against Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone came back from that 4-0 down to win, to draw that game. They lost to Madagascar. They lost to Central African Republic. They lost to Cape Verde. They played 1-1 with Ghana, all at home. So in my lifetime, I've never seen a generation that has lost so many games. And they're not losing to the superpowers of African football. They're losing to teams that are way below us in ranking. So it's a terrible thing. And I think it all boils down to planning. If you look at some other African countries, what they are doing in their youth system, in their training facilities, I mean, how can we be playing in that kind of field, that potato farm? Is a terrible thing. And the players were struggling. Though I put the blame solely on, I put the blame on their table. They have to share in the blame. But I didn't expect anything magical from them today, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay, also let me come here. I think Tofe Towobola is ready to join us from Abuja. Tofe, it's hard for us to actually make sense of what happened to the Super Eagles of Nigeria earlier today, because Guinea-Bissau is ranked 113th. That's their ranking in FIFA. And of course, Nigeria is ranked, 32nd in FIFA ranking. So when you put that into perspective, I mean, this is more like, how do I put it, a shock for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, especially they're playing at the Abuja National Stadium. You expect them to actually get a win out of that. The arrays of stars that the Super Eagles paraded, you can't even compare with what the Guinea-Bissau, what they have. You man for man, they're not even close to what the Super Eagles can offer. What do you think happened in the game this evening?
Yeah, hi Cecilia. Yeah, it's a big shock. The whole nation is stunned. I was just at the stadium as well, and I was just shocked seeing what I'm seeing. I think we had a very bad balance in the midfield, and it's very hard to understand what happened. But I think, like we talked about last night, the coach got it wrong in the central defensive pairing. He played with Basi and Akpogoma, and Osai Samuel also is not an out-and-out right back as well. So I think from the back, we got it wrong, and they had an early goal, and we couldn't just recover because, of course, he doesn't know how to blend the team, and he didn't use Osimhen well. I mean, Osimhen is a world-class player, probably one of the best strikers in the world, and he didn't get any good chances today. And that's just very poor from the coaching department, I think I'm going to give the blame to.
You put in the blame. You know, yesterday we talked about the fact that we don't really have a balanced team, that the midfield was a bit very lean. And you just mentioned that. What could he have done differently? Maybe the pairings he would have done at the centre backs that you just mentioned, the central defenders, where you have, we thought Kenneth Romero could have started. Shemi Ajayi also was on the bench. And these are some of the players you feel could have started to have that a solid back. But we didn't have that. What could he have done to get a better result from Guinea-Bissau?
Yeah, generally, we keep talking about the bad pitch. We're trying to blame the NFF and the ministry and all. But if you take a look at it, Kenneth Romero and even Shemi Ajayi, they played on these pitches as well recently. And Romero, I mean, he knows how the local games go. Akpogoma, no disrespect to him, and Basi as well, they've been doing well at their club side. But I mean, the team just looks so weak at the back. Osai Samuel is a very good winger. He can also play wing back. And then we also had Lukman and Chukwueze on the flanks. So I think the team was a bit like too, weak generally. And I think we had no other option, and we didn't have a second plan. As soon as the goal went in, we were just passing and hoping. Alex Iwobi played deep. So I think Kenneth Romero would have definitely helped us in this game, give us some stability as well. And sometimes it's very important that we go with the players that know the ground, especially in these qualifiers. The same players that play qualifiers is not the same that used to play the big tournaments as well. You need experienced hands in these local games.
The way the goal came, maybe Francis Uzoho, could he have done better?
I'm still going to put the blame on the coaching crew. Uzoho, all due respect, I mean, he could have done better, of course, but, the back line wasn't anything to write home about. Basi has been playing central back and left central back recently as well. But pairing with Akpogoma, I mean, for the first time, he's not really like what we would expect, and Kenneth Romero would have been there, and I think we just have ourselves to blame. I mean, we had so many superstars on the team. We called all the strikers that we have. We have a lot of firepower as well. But as I said yesterday, we have to get the balance right. We have to get the defense right. So I think that's where we really got hurt today.
Austin is in London. Yeah. I'm sure he's got some questions for you because he's still shocked by the victory, just as you are, by the loss.
This day, Cecilia, nothing shocks me in football, but I will be shocked when Eswatini comes to Nigeria and then beat the Super Eagles. Then I will be so shocked. But tonight, let's call people out. Come on, Tofe and Ikena. Let's call them out because we've always said it. Even if we say it's excuses, these players will still come out to talk about the bad pitch. When you've got the bulk of your team, about 95% of the Super Eagles team play in Europe, where they have standard pitches, where the behavior of the ball is different, where they know that if they play a short pass, it will roll freely to the person that they intend to give the pass to. So if we've been talking about infrastructure and the need to have good playing turfs, it's about time that the ministry, everyone involved, makes it happen. Even if it's just one pitch. Now let's go into this game. Jose Pizarro, come outside. Now, I don't understand how you're going to start Akpogoma. Yes, they're professionals, but with defense, you need understanding. If you don't have understanding, you must put somebody who is really experienced in there. Ikena, was that the first foul? Because it was a long ball, it was a set piece. So definitely there was no understanding between Akpogoma and the other defender.
Okay, no.
Well, the same way our opponent scored today, that's Guinea-Bissau, was the same way Central African Republic scored against us. And when we played them here, the same long ball, straight to their striker, our defenders got confused and they scored. So these are the people we have. You play with what you have. Akpogoma plays for Hoffenheim. Kevin Bassey plays, he's having a terrible season at Ajax. But he plays at center defense too in Ajax. Sometimes he plays on the left side. So I don't see that as an excuse or the reason. I don't even blame the coach. I'm blaming the generation, the players we have on ground. It's as if when they done the Super Eagles share, they don't put up enough effort to win games. So blaming the coach is like finding an easy way out because some of them we know them by first name. But I'm telling you that this generation of players, I'm even worried that we might not qualify even for the 48-team tournament in the US coming in next 3 years. Because the way they are losing games at random at home, we played in Lagos, it wasn't about the pitch. We played in Abuja. Yes, the pitch might have done one or two things, but then again, there's something about this generation of players that I don't understand. Is it that the passion is not there? Is it that they don't understand the mission at hand? Because we are losing games that we can't even. We're not losing to Super Power. If you lose to Senegal or Morocco, you understand. But you are losing to Central African Republic. You're playing a 4-4 draw with Sierra Leone. You're losing to playing draw with Cape Verde. I mean, it's embarrassing if you ask me. So the players, they should go back, look at themselves in the mirror. If they're not willing to don the shirt, probably they can drop out and continue with their club this thing. If another coach comes in, we might still have the same problem. After all, it was a Guavo that didn't qualify us for the Nations Cup. Guinea was the one that were playing draws with and losing the games at home. So it doesn't necessarily it becomes a Pesero's problem. There's something about this generation of players. That's my own point.
Toffe, I still want to stay with Jose Pizarro. At the time he brought in Paul Onuachu to pair Victor Osimhen, did you see any tactical discipline? Because I can't understand why Samuel Chukwueze was still on the right and Moses Simon on the left. Help me understand it, please.
Oh, we're trying to call out people today, but the time has come when we have to be more direct as well. Onuachu actually did well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was waiting. He was trying to fight for all the balls he got and everything. And he looked like a good option. He convinced me today that he should be in Super Eagles as well. And I could see both of them playing together with Onuachu and Osimhen as well. The reason I'm blaming the coach is because I don't know. He should have, on all this couple of months he had, he should have watched all the videos from Gennett Ross' time. He should have looked at the videos also from Austin Aguaro's time. And he should try to have his analysis from Portugal and come and understand what the Super Eagles need. The Super Eagles, they need service. Normally, if you want to build a good team, you need to build a team around some key players. We all know Victor Osimhen is a world-class player. If you have players like Chukwueze trying to help him out to get the goals, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry to say, but if Chukwueze is playing in Napoli, Osimhen is not going to get all those goals because he has 10 assists this season, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't make that for the Super Eagles. We need to start playing team, not about players. So if we're going to build a team around Chukwueze, fine, he's a good player. Let's play like a false nine. Let's keep him up there. Anytime he cuts in, he's going to shoot. But we didn't create anything for them. We're crossing in balls, and of course, Simon Moses also plays well as well. But today he had a bad game. He put in a couple of crosses, and they were just to nowhere. So we need to build the team, and we need to have a style of play, like the way Arsenal play this season, for example. They have a style of play. No matter what happens, they're going to keep playing the same way. But we don't have a style of play. We're just passing and hoping. So there's nobody who could give Osimhen the ball. Nobody could give Onuachu the ball. Yeah. We couldn't create any chances. We only had 3 shots on target, same like Guinea-Bissau. And out of 17 chances, 14 were not there. So it's painful. We had 70% possession, and we couldn't do much about it against Guinea-Bissau. It's really bad.
So, sir, when this team failed to qualify for the World Cup, I had you on this show, and you said that any Super Eagles player that doesn't want to play, let me quote you, say should get out. Are you still saying the same thing?
It's the same level. Going back to what my colleague said at the studio, the bunch of Super Eagles players we have now, I'm not going to say that they're not giving 100%. I'm not going to say that they don't want to give. But they just don't understand what it means to wear the jersey of the Nigerian team. That's why I keep saying that we need to have a good transition from our older players to the new players. I don't care what stats you have in Europe. I don't care how many goals you score. Coming to play for Nigeria is a different ballgame. The system, the setup. So we need to play players that are committed. We need to play players that can work together. I don't care if you score 200 goals. Tell me which Nigerian player that was playing so well in the world and came home and made that same level. Nobody. Even when Mikel Obi was playing at a high level, and then he came to our team, we were already on his back at that time. So we need to pick a team to win the games. We don't need to focus on stats and focus on what not. There's some players that are absolutely undroppable, but we need to focus on players that can help us to win. Just like at the World Cup, we didn't go, and just now as well, if we're going to lose the match, we might as well play Ahmed Musa and play the other America play the same team, the same organized guys, the same guys that at least in their own time they got past this level. Because all these flashes and all these creative players we have now, they've not done anything for us. Lookman is new in the setup, so it's not easy. But let's play trusted hands. I might as well have the Gallo and all those guys in there and know that we didn't lose and know that and make the transition slowly. We can't just change the whole team. I mean, look at the team today. We have Bassi, we have Akoguma, we have Lookman. It's too many changes. Osai is also new in the team, and they're all in the back line. If you're a professional coach, you know that you change the defense too much. You have to keep it similar. So I think it's just the fact that they're talking about the Abuja Stadium as well. I mean, fine, but we cannot continue changing the team and expecting results. There has to be cohesion. So I don't know. We said it all today anyway.
I totally agree with you. Tough Sports Tonight on Channels Television. The not so Super Eagles team will have a second chance against Guinea-Bissau in about 4 days' time. Can they bounce back? We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Hey.
Right, welcome back. Austin asked that question, concerning the Super Eagles team. Should we just change the whole team? Maybe, but we really can't do that. But progression is actually necessary. Let me quickly come to you before I go to Sophia. We'll just wrap up the Super Eagles game that was played earlier today. You mentioned that the players, the commitment is not there. It's not about the coaching crew. You talked about Gennett Raw, Austin Eguavon stepping in between. And I always mention that the first 3 games I watched at the Africa Cup of Nations was the best I watched in a long while for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I just hope and we could have continued like that, having the bulk of all our players. Because, at that Nations Cup, we didn't have Victor Sime. We didn't have Odin Igalo, who, of course, is retired now. You think the players we have now, if we have them and they play that same style, will it work for us?
It might work. It might work. But I think what we need is a psychologist.
They do. Super Eagles, they do. Robinson, of course, they have psychologists.
His job should be questioned because I don't see, when you see this team play on the field, they don't inspire any hope.
Confidence. So it's not about coaching now. It's about players.
No, if it had it been that under the pressure we are beginning to see some losses, then we will start questioning. Oh, this wasn't how our Super Eagles used to play. But we've seen it at least in the last 1 year. This has been happening. So there's something actually wrong with the team.
Okay.
The same players can still play, but then I know that there might be some formation tweaking here and there. But then again, I think they should all sit down and ask them a question: do they really want to play for the Super Eagles?
Okay.
So that's my because I think because each time you watch the Super. Before I watched the game, I said, let me go and see this. It's going to be a disjointed display. And it was. There are so many errors on the pitch. Even the coach started shouting at the players. Simple passes.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was very hard.
The services were not there. Tougher, Osimhen, he was just up right there. He didn't get the services he wanted. And, of course, he was restricted. Players were always on him. At a point, he was really, really very frustrated. Going forward into the return leg, which will be in Morocco on Monday, what should the coach do differently?
Well, the coach has a lot of things to do. I mean, even if he wins the match resoundingly, he's not won me over at all. Because at the end of the day, my colleague in the studio is saying that, it's not about the coach. But, I also say that, yes, the players should take some blame. But if you look at it, at least if we have a coach that can hide the fact that our players don't have the cohesion and that can hide the fact that our players are not playing as a team, like in a row, for example, I'll give him credit. And I also give credit to Eguavon as well. He was able to get the team working, even if, we didn't give him enough time. But right now, we have a coach that doesn't even understand our setup, that doesn't understand our players, and he's using our qualifying matches to get to know the team. You see, Gennaro was there for 5 years or thereabouts, and he had a lot of time to understand the players. He had a lot of time to understand their mentality. And then when you have a player that doesn't have a strong mentality, that's where you can now help, and with the psychology as well. But this coach is just using all these matches to learn about us. He's not research. He doesn't know. He needs to go back and check what happened and the details and look at the stories. Because really, the coach is really not ready for the team because the players are not ready actually, but the coach is also not ready. So it's just now we're losing to Guinea-Bissau at home, in the Nations Cup qualifier. So what we're talking about is really painful. We really need to sit up from the coach, and then if we had a coach that can understand what we're trying to do and understand the players that we have, then at least it's not going to be too bad. So I just leave it there. I leave it on the coach actually. So on the second leg, as you said, to answer your question, I guess the boys now have to rise up. Nigeria, you know how we are. We always come around when our back is up against the wall. So I really believe that, the boys are going to fight now, put in everything that we can. And I think it might go well, and it will go well on the away leg.
Yeah, Austin. Okay, yeah, Austin.
Yeah, no, since I totally agree with Tofe. I still want to leave it with Jose Pizarro. Why am I leaving it with Jose Pizarro? This is a man that came with so much vibes. This is a man that came and explained to fans of the Super Eagles that he understood where Nigerian football was at the time he came, and even promised that this team will win the AFCON. Now, it's even looking like this team will struggle to qualify for the AFCON. So, let me throw it back to Ikenna before we say goodbye to Tofe. Ikenna, is this man clueless? Jose Pizarro, is he clueless? Does he understand his players and how to use them?
I think, yeah, I think, yes, he will take part of the blame, but I'll keep hammering on it. Because I know he made some promises. I know, of course, everybody that's coming for a new job will always say, "Oh, I've seen some things on the side." Maybe, probably he didn't realize the effect of what we are, the damage that was on ground before he took over the job. Because he really see the kind of games we are losing is heartbreaking. That's the problem I'm having with the team. The kind of games we are losing is heartbreaking, and actually you can actually see them before they play the match that this team is not going to play well, and they don't play well.
All right. Okay.
So I think yes, he has a percentage of the blame, but the bulk are still put on the players. They can't escape this.
Let me let Tofe go. Tofe, I must say thank you so much for your time on the show tonight. Any final words for the team before you leave?
Yeah, we just have to fight, individually. As I said yesterday, we have to just fight, and I wish them all the best. I'm one of the biggest supporters of the Eagles, but we have to be real with them and let them know that things are not going well.
Thanks so much, Tofe Towabola, match and player analyst, for being with us on the show tonight. Cecilia, take it over.
All right, let's just take a look at other games that were played today. We'll start with the confirmation of Nigeria's result. Yes, there you have it. In case you missed it earlier when we were talking about this game, it's Nigeria 0. Of course, Guinea-Bissau 1. And Cape Verde and Eswatini ended goalless. The Eswatini Austin was talking about, don't worry, they won't come here and beat Nigeria in any form whenever we are meeting them. It's not going to be happening. Uganda and, of course, Tanzania. Uganda won that away from Cote d'Ivoire and Comoros. This is when you know a big team. 3-1. That's what you do when you're facing smaller teams like this. Just beat them and, tell them that, yes, can actually make some record. Nigeria did against Sao Tome and Principe, but then they've not been able to do that. And, of course, the game between DR Congo and Mauritania ended 3-1 in favor of DR Congo. And South Africa and Liberia. Now, South Africa were 2 goals up. Liberia came from 2 goals down to draw that game in Soweto. So it's not just Nigeria that refused to fly this evening. South Africa, of course, they didn't go to Nations Cup. They were not at the World Cup. The same team also were drawing against Liberia in Soweto.
They don't have a player in Ajax. They don't have a player in Napoli. They don't have a player in the Premier League. You understand? So we are not on the same level with South Africa. If they play a dog with Liberia, well, all well and good for them. For us, we should be beating these teams.
Austin, okay. I was trying to, okay, yeah. I was trying to feel good, when you're seeing other teams. Yeah.
No, Cecilia. I totally agree with Ikenna. We cannot be putting ourselves in the same pot with even South Africa. About 5 years ago, South Africa cannot even lace the boots of some Super Eagles players. We've got Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Alex Iwobi, Victor Osimhen, Calvin Bassey. Those names I've just mentioned, Paul Onuachu. Put them together. South Africa, maybe in the next 10 years, we need to have this sort of players I've just
All right. Okay, let's leave that and quickly talk about Nigerian Professional Football League. Games resume this weekend, and a big one everyone is looking forward to, obviously, is the game between Enyimba and Bender Insurance. Yes, this game, because it's #1 and #2 in Group A, and of course, is on Saturday. Enyimba will be hosting Bender Insurance. Yes, when Enyimba went to Benin, it was Insurance who won this game. Let's see what can happen in the game. Let's flip over to Group B, the games you have for us. Okay, look at all the games in Group B. These are the games for Sunday. Aqua United and Shooting Stars will be in action. Remo Stars and Nasser United. They have Kwara United and Economic Warriors, Plateau United, of course, Gombe United, another game to look forward to. Go to Group B, the game between Enugu Rangers and Bayelsa United. That game is on Saturday. And, of course, you also have Dakada and Niger Tornadoes also on Saturday. For Sunday's game, you have Doma United and Lobby Stars, Wiki Tourist and Sunshine Stars, Rivers United and Abia Warriors. Rivers United are back in action. On Wednesday, they beat Rangers by a lone goal. And, of course, that helped them to consolidate on their top position. Ikena, which one gets you talking here? Is it the Bender Insurance and Enyimba? Because if you look at these two sides, Insurance are yet to lose a game this season. But Enyimba, of course, they've lost how many games now? They've lost 3 games this season. So far, 16 points after 9 games.
Yeah, it's one of the games I'm looking forward to, and it's going to be live on TV. So it's one of the games they are going to put live on TV. And Enyimba has Chijoka Kinoto. He's back in the Premier League. He hasn't been so he has signed with Enyimba for the remainder of the season. So that's a huge booster. And they're not doing badly, though they are second to Bender Insurance. They're not doing badly in the league. So it's one of those games. But another game I'm looking forward to is the Remo Stars game, because they got back Junior Locosa. You know what he did you know what he did when he was the top scorer, and also Ifeanyi Nemina. Ifeanyi Nemina is also back, signed for Remo Stars. He's a very fantastic defender. So I think some teams are preparing, especially to play in the Super. Well, I think we're going to have Super 6 or Super 8. Yeah. So at the end of the season, so for the Enyimba game, it would be an opportunity for them to revenge the 1-0. It was a fantastic game. They played well in Benin. Yeah. So it's one of those games they want to have a revenge, at least have the 3 points, probably start being in the competition. Whoever wins the group doesn't matter. Yeah. The more matters is qualifying for the next round. So I drop my hat for them. I know they're going to make me proud.
Enyimba. I'm an Enyimba fan here in the studio. Austin, I mean, we'll run through the results of this weekend. Which one is getting your attention? Obviously, I know all eyes are on the Enyimba and Bender Insurance game, #1 and #2 in Group A.
Definitely, and that group got us talking from the start of the league, and it's still doing just that. What a story for Bender Insurance. But I totally stand with Ikena and the things he said about Enyimba. Enyimba, I've always said it, that they're a team that understand when you put them in a competition zone. So the Abridged League is like a competition in their head. And if you see the way they've played this season, you could tell that they're giving it that sort of approach. So this is a very good one for league football in Nigeria. Let's see what will come out of that one. But I would like to see Rangers and how they will put their season back on track. It's been abysmal for the Flying Antelopes, particularly they were hoping to get something out of that rescheduled game they played against Rivers United, but they lost it. So they have a chance to give it a go again and hopefully get their season back on track.
Yeah, Enugu Rangers, 9 games, 9 points, so poor. Yeah. Let's go to Messi, someone who has won the World Cup. He has always said that. I mean, he dreamt of a moment whereby he will come home and celebrate winning the World Cup with the fans. And he had the opportunity to do it on Thursday night. That was after they played a game against Panama, 2-0. Of course, Messi scoring the 800th goal of his career in that particular game. And after that, of course, they had to celebrate. The fans, everyone coming to the River Plate Stadium where they played their first match. This is the first time they're actually playing a game since they won the World Cup in Qatar. So they brought the trophy down and everyone had to celebrate with Lionel Messi. He dreamt about the moment, and right now his dreams coming true.
Well, and another thing is that the River Plate Stadium is being renovated. They've taken off the tracks, so it's becoming a more fan-oriented stadium. Messi winning the World Cup is like a crown at the end of the whole what they've done in football. I mean, I've not seen this kind of story is amazing. Yeah. So for now, he hoped to retire from the national team at the end of the World Cup, but now he wants to play with that third star. You know, it's like the high play, maybe playing in the Copa America, one or two there. Then if he can carry on, then he will go. But I think he's a fantastic. You know, you can see old men cry, women crying in the stadium yesterday, and they celebrated with their families. I mean, he's really amazing. He's finally become the successor to Diego Armando Maradona.
Austin, when you see the crowd, you see the Argentines, the fans, the way it is, you just dream of a situation like this where Nigeria will, of course, win the World Cup and we get to celebrate maybe at the Abuja National Stadium, maybe any other one that would have been built something. I mean, it's electrifying, something you just want to identify with.
Celia, what's wrong with you? We are struggling.
Messi dreamt about it and he got it, so you have to dream.
I don't know, but Messi is from Argentina and is exceptional. And in his country, football is not administered the way we're running football in Nigeria. So what is happening to us? We're reaping all that we've been sowing out through the years. And that's just what it is. But fantastic moment for Messi. Let me also add that he's so passionate about the game, and he cried. He cried because it's so good to see this dream come to reality. Yeah. He cried because he knows that he's going to leave a legacy that will keep football going in his country, Cecilia.
All right, let's talk about another GOAT, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, this guy, you look at him, you're wondering when will he say it's over. How old is Ronaldo now? He'll be 38, right? Very soon. Yeah, he will be 38 very soon. And 120 international goals. Who is close to that? And of course, appearances 197. So he's just how many away from 200 cap. That's amazing. And that was what he achieved in the game against Liechtenstein. 4-0 Portugal they played. He scored a penalty and also another free kick, helping his team to that 4-0 victory. Could have gotten a hat-trick, but was taken off the field 78th minute. He couldn't bag that hat-trick. Cristiano Ronaldo just can't stop breaking and making or extending records.
I'll still go back to Messi, and the two of them have done a lot for football. That's what I'm trying to say. When they both retire, we are actually going to miss. Because what the press is trying to do now is trying to set up, is it going to be Osimhen versus Haaland? Is it going to be Mbappe versus Haaland? They still need that, this thing. But we should celebrate these two guys because they are already on the tail end of their career. So whatever they do now is just adding something else to the cap. I think they've done well. Cristiano Ronaldo has shown, going to Saudi Arabia, that he's still in the game. And what Martinez has promised him is that he'll keep inviting him to the national team. He'll
keep breaking more records.
Breaking more records. He's there for him to do so.
All right, Austin, I'm not going to ask you about Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to ask you about Harry Kane because you're right there in England. What Harry Kane has achieved, also another record, scoring his 54th goal, and 81 appearances. Yes, it's still very low compared to what Cristiano Ronaldo has done. But Harry Kane is 29, so he still has a long way. What's it like in England there? No, everyone is celebrating because they're looking at that record of Bobby Charlton's long-standing record.
Yeah, it's all love for Harry Kane, and the people wish him well. Football fans believe this guy deserves a trophy, a major trophy in his cabinet, maybe the English Premier League or the Champions League, or if possible, the Euros. And the Three Lions came so close to doing it. He's been a good captain. He's giving his entire service to the English national team. And just to mention that yesterday, it was the first time since 1961 that England, we beat Italy in Italy. And what a moment it was for this guy, Harry Kane, to lead the Three Lions to achieve that one. Fantastic player. And I'm sending all my love to him also on the show tonight. That's it. Let's end this show with love and know what happened with the Super Eagles. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Ikena, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight.
It's my first for the year. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Great to have you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a great night rest.